So I went to a YouTubers conference 2 weeks ago, last week actually. And I know that kind of sounds kind of funny. It's a place where a bunch of YouTubers got together. It was like 50 of us. And we were taught a specific process on how to create a good channel, a channel that's valuable. And the person teaching it says, look, I researched up and down. There's one marketing branding system that works flawlessly in YouTube, and it really just really works flawlessly everywhere. It's called the Primal Branding Code. You have to have 7 elements clearly stated and clearly in use. And if you have these 7 elements, you will create a tribe. You will create a group of people that follow you and go to war for you. Okay? And I feel that without knowing this, I've done this in one way, shape, or form in my YouTube channel. But let me tell you what the system is. There's 7 things that you have to identify. You have to identify your creation story. People need to know your creation story. Before you were an accountant, what were you? What inspired you to be an accountant? How you got here? People need to know this. It is compelling for people to know that you were not always an accountant. It is compelling for people to know that you didn't always have your shit together. I'm sorry, that one slipped out. That you never really had your stuff together. It's important for you to know that you were wandering aimlessly as a business owner, just like every other person is wandering aimlessly as a business owner when they first start. The way people make connections with other people is when they share experiences. So when you share your creation story, the hardships, what led you to do what you do. I mean, you can even, like I mentioned, I read Ron Baker's book and I transformed to value pricing. That is part of my creation story. Today could be part of your creation story. Today could be a pivotal point on how you work differently. And you want to express that. You want to tell people, I learned a skill set that transformed how I work. And you want people to know that because people get attracted to creation stories. So that's the creation story. The other one is called the creed. The creed is the one thing that you believe in, that everything you do revolves around. And if anyone asks you to do something that breaks that creed, you won't do it. That's positioning. So my creed is, and as I mentioned earlier, my job is to help business owners take more vacations. That's my creed. And I tell that to people when I talk to them. We say it all the time. And then what's happening, I started saying that 2 years ago. What's happening is every single customer tells me when they went on vacation. What's the last time a customer told you proactively that they went on vacation? Other than, hey, I'm going on vacation. Can you please cover my payroll? I'm talking about like feeling that, like having someone acknowledge to you that what you believe on affects their life. It's powerful. So when you have a creed, whatever that creed is, and your customer knows that creed, and you say it and you repeat it over and over and over, people get attached to you. They latch to you and they never want to let go. Then they have the icons. Now, the icons could be like your logo. In my case, my voice is my icon, okay? Most people, when I meet them for the first time, the confirmation that they're talking to me, it's my voice, right? I do a lot of podcasts. I do a lot of videos. So when they meet me for the first time, almost every comment, here local clients in Miami, almost every comment is, wow, you sound just like you do in your videos. I mean, of course, I could have told them that. I couldn't tell them that that's how it works. You sound the same in your videos as you do in real life. But that's my icon. My other icon is my company logo. How I dress. I always wear a uniform. I almost always wear my black shirt with my logo. I wear my shirt, my uniform on the weekends when I go to the supermarket. I'm proud of my brand. I wear it. It's my icon. Then the rituals is the things that you do all the time, right? It's the things that you do all the time. This is really your work, right? It's before you prepare the work, how you start your emails, how you end your emails, how you greet your customers. This is the product of your work. This is what your customers see you do. Now, some of these rituals are internal, like within your company, and some rituals, are with your customers, right? So, like a monthly meeting is a ritual, right? This is a ritual, and people like rituals. Rituals. That's the reason why most people are religious. But most people have religion because of the rituals. They're attracted to the rituals. The rituals create sense, right? The rituals are, what do you call that? The routine. The rituals is the routine, right? Your customers need to understand your routine. They want some predictability, right? They need to know and understand and expect certain things to happen all the time. Those are your rituals. Then you have the pagans, which is, like I translated it to the haters. It's just that this word is a little bit, it's kind of tribal, like the way they explain it. But the haters, if you don't have haters, you're doing something wrong, right? That means you're not pushing. That means you're not positioned, right? There needs to be customers that call you that say, wow, I really don't like the way you work, and hang up and leave. That needs to happen. That needs to happen. If you don't have haters, that means you're not pushing the limits. That means you're not taking risks. That means you're not doing things different. That means you're not disrupting, right? The whole taxi cab industry is up in arms about Uber, and Uber is very successful. That's a perfect example. Think about Macs and PCs, right? People, Mac users hate PCs. It strengthens their brand, and for both sides, right? The fact that there's Windows users criticizing Macs strengthens the brand of Mac. Sacred words is like that special terminology that you use all the time that only you use. Think about Apple has the iPhone, the iMac, right? The iPod, the iPad. That's a sacred word. It's a specific system of speaking that allows people to identify your brand. You is you. Okay. So like just the word vacation is my sacred word because I use it. Like accountants don't talk about vacation. That's not a word that accountants use. I use it. I use it over and over and over. Why? Because I want people to identify that word with me and with my brand. And lastly is the leader, right? People really revolve around the leader. So most of you are the owners of your own business. You are the leader. So you obviously have to accentuate what that leadership means. So I wanted to kind of cover that because I think that just fundamentally is a great way to think about your marketing. And in all your marketing, you have to have, again, your creation story, what you believe in, your colors, even your office decoration it's iconic. The rituals, what you do and how you do it, the haters, the sacred words, and the leader. So I wanted to add that because that was a slide that I skipped that I felt maybe wasn't that important, but I'm thankful that at least half of you got to hear that. So Deborah's asking, I'm a certified bookkeeper. Should I base my prices on $200 an hour? Why not? Honestly, Deborah, and I don't know you personally, but I hate when people start with, I am this or I am just this, therefore I should charge less. That is such a wrong way of doing it. Like, I'm a certified bookkeeper says nothing about you. If you are solving client problems, if you're improving people's lives, you are a problem solver. You're a life improver. You're not a bookkeeper, right? Like using labels and then somehow those labels quantify what the dollar amount that you should attach to it is the most wrongest way to go about doing this, right? You have to have what your certification is. It's irrelevant, okay? Most customers don't care about your certifications. They care about your capacity to deliver. Now, your certification helps them make an assumption on whether or not you have the capacity to deliver. But your capacity to deliver is the only thing they care about, with the exception of like representing someone in front of the IRS, CRA, whatever. For that, you need specific credentials. I get that. But for the most part, your credentials are not what matters. It's your capacity to deliver. And the reason why I started my YouTube channel in the first place, this was like shortly before I was a CPA and I started writing content, was because I wanted people to value me for my capacity to help with my technical skills, not for my certifications. I mean, I became a CPA shortly after, and that helped a lot. But that was it, right? Your confidence and self-worth, it's more important than your certifications. Notice that I had a slide here at the very beginning, and this will kind of make a full circle of that. I think I talked about all the traits of a successful, what was it? I forget what the slide is, right? The traits of a successful entrepreneur, practitioner, or value pricer is this, right? It doesn't say you're a CPA or a bookkeeper or whatever, right? You're self-confident. You can talk about money with ease. Speak your mind ruthlessly, but with utter kindness. persuasive, have a why, have a vision. Work with clients you want, not clients you need. Don't fear competitions or copycats, and don't be a copycat. Learn how to summarize large amounts of information, which, by the way, I'm not good at that because I'm proving it to you that I couldn't summarize it in 3 hours. I had to go 5 hours, and be masterful communicator. Okay. So that's it. I'm done. Are there any other questions? Daniel saying, how many hours a week do I work? Let's say about 40 hours. Daniel, pretty straightforward answer. Like, I have to go pick up my kids at 6 in an hour. So I don't work any more than that. The thing is that how many hours a week do I do doing actual client work? That's only about half. I only spend about 20 hours a week doing client work. I spend the other 20 hours creating content, creating value, creating positioning. So when I only do 20 hours a week of client work, I can charge enough to make up for the other 20 that I don't do client work. So that's the answer to your question, Daniel.